Hello everyone and welcome to Trending in My Life. This week, episode 47 is all about should I? Now, I'll tell you how this came about. This is Sunday when I'm recording this, and this morning when I got up, I decided to have a cooked breakfast. I always think on a Sunday morning, if you can make your breakfast a little bit special, different from your everyday of the week breakfast, then it just makes the day special. It starts it off right. So this morning I had a cooked breakfast and I had half a cup of tea left when I'd finished. And I looked outside and it wasn't particularly sunny, but it wasn't rainy either. It was almost like the day was still waking up. It was just sort of cloudy, but it wasn't cold out. So I decided to take my cup of tea outside and sit on the garden bench, which I did. And then I thought, wow, this is really lovely. I'm sat out here, so I'm breathing the fresh air, I'm listening to the birds, and I'm just looking around my garden at the plants that are growing, things that I'd planted, and just enjoying the moment. And when I finished my cup of tea, I went inside and thought, I should really do that more often. I mean, obviously not in the winter time, but it was why I got the garden bench. It was so that there was somewhere to sit outside in the garden. Because I'm not one for sitting in the sun, I don't sort of normally think about sitting outside. But obviously at breakfast time, it's early in the morning and it's not hot and I'm trying to think, but that part of the garden is in the shade anyway at that time of day. So that led me on to thinking why I don't do it very often. And how often in our lives we don't do things because we're busy thinking of the other factors, the other things that we need to do, the other things we're worried about. And it's that, should I, shouldn't I? Oh, I could easily have said to myself, oh, well, I need to put some washing on. I need to put washing on. I need to write a list. I need to remember to pick up a few bits and pieces. I need to top up my Oyster card. I need to remember to hoover the stairs. And it's very, very easy to find on a weekend that you're filling up the hours with chores and errands and things that you feel you should be doing with your time. When in fact, there are people that spend all weekend doing practically nothing. I mean, okay, they go to the kitchen to feed themselves, but other than that, they don't go out. They read a book if they feel like it. They watch some movies if they feel like it. They might even have food delivered, so that they don't even have to walk in the kitchen other than to get a plate. And even then, do you need a plate when you've got takeaway food delivered? Sometimes not. And the question is, are they more relaxed after the weekend? Was their head full of should I's? Should I be putting the washing on? Well, no, because I'm going to watch this movie instead. It can wait. I can do it the evening before I go back to work. Or maybe there's enough clean clothes in the wardrobe anyway that I don't need to do that until Monday in the evening. In a way, I can see people thinking, oh, that's procrastinating, But it also has the advantage of giving those people exactly the weekend that they wanted. If you get involved in doing things with your weekend, you rarely stop yourself and say, oh, just stop doing this, just sit down, watch a movie, let's spend an hour gaming and catching up with people online. And you don't do that when you're in the middle of chores or errands or whatever. And you then find that you're quite often living your life in the should I zone. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And often if you factor in what's best for you, what you really, really want to do yourself, not factoring in what other people expect you to do or what you feel you should do, what your conscience is saying. Do you need to clean the kitchen floor? Well, maybe, but could it wait another day? I mean, as long as you don't leave it forever. But what would you rather be doing? Would you rather be relaxing? Would you like to put some nice sounds of rain on and wear a face pack and an eye mask or something and just chill for half an hour? But yeah, when you're getting involved in doing chores and things, you find you don't stop. You keep going till it's finished. You don't stop and say to yourself, well, should I really be relaxing? Should I really be enjoying this weekend more? These days off work? So the question is, should I? Should I? Should I? That's the question. So let's apply it to different things in your life. Sometimes it's like that sliding doors moment. If you chose to do one thing, you were in a place at the right time. If you chose to do another thing, maybe you found the right path for you. If you chose to go for a walk instead of doing chores, you might feel really energized and happy and then not mind doing the chores so much. I am very much in favour of the system. There are different ones online, but one that I can think of off the top of my head is the Fly Lady system. It tells you that if you feel overwhelmed by housework and things that you have to get done, divide it up into 5 or 10 minute chunks. Like, I could spend all weekend doing housework, but I don't. I do it a bit at a time. And I will come home from work and maybe pick one room where it needs hoovering or it needs dusting or one thing needs doing that I can do in 10 minutes, and I will do that. Then I don't even think about it. It's done in 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, well, tomorrow if I feel like doing it when I come home from work, I'll set a timer and do 10 minutes in another room. And it keeps things clean and tidy, but it doesn't make it a really overwhelming chore. I've got so much to do, I've got to hoover this and clean that and take that to the thrift shop, and you can get overwhelmed by things. That's why I said about hoovering the stairs and not hoovering a whole part of the house, because it's a one thing kind of thing when you divide it all up. And maybe that's a good way to deal with other things. You might have to do sorting through receipts, and to do 10 minutes each evening, and on a weekend maybe 2 10-minute blocks if you're trying to get through working things out, then you will be that much closer than if you bury your head in the sand and don't do it at all. And you won't be so overwhelmed as if you sit down and you've got masses of paperwork and you're trying to do it like that as well. So should I be kinder to myself is the question. Should I be thinking more about how I want to spend each day in my life, so that I feel good at the end of that day and think, that was a good day, I did something I thoroughly enjoyed, and, I might have done this and that I had to do, but I also fitted in good things that I enjoyed, because we only have one life to live, and it's important that we don't waste a lot of days doing things that we really don't want to do. Part of my weekend has been on Saturday morning. I went to an area of London where I had Googled that there was a lot of street art, and I'd never been to that area before, and I had to Google map myself to the main street where it was. And what I loved about it, I was there quite early in the morning, but that street was empty, other than the fact that there were a few people around, clearly having got a cup of coffee or going to get breakfast somewhere. But the street itself didn't have tourists in, it didn't have a load of people looking at the street art. In fact, I was the only one looking at the street art and filming it. And I had planned to do that as part of my weekend. And although it was something that I had to film in order to put out a short, it was something I really enjoyed. I was in a part of London, like I say, I don't normally go to. I'd planned a route which took me on a train and then a bus. There was a walk in between that, and I had to find the right bus stop and wait for the right bus and get off at the right place. And then walking around it, there were some wonderful pieces, and I was so happy, smiley. Wow, look at that, oh, that's amazing. And all the time, of course, I was thinking, this is going to look great in the short that I'm doing. And then when I walked to, I decided to go a different way back, and I walked to a tube station, and near the tube station, I could see more street art, and in particular, two wonderful pieces right across the road from me. And I thought, it's the most amazing thing when you stumble across things, and then you get to film it and show other people. But where I could have said, should I go and film that, or should I just go and get the food shopping and do some cleaning and washing, and I didn't. I specially scheduled it for the start of my weekend because I wanted my weekend to start off being a very positive thing, a very happy thing, and I so enjoyed doing that. And then, of course, when I'm editing, I get to relive that as well, which is great. And there was a huge amount. I mean, to give you an idea, when I got back, I'd got 30 clips. So that's at least 2 shorts. Sometimes it's 3. It just depends. It depends, to be honest, on the street art itself. Because sometimes it's a long piece that you have to sort of scroll along. And other pieces are the side of a building and you need to show it in sections. Or it might be just something that you can just focus on and look at and take it in that one shot kind of thing. But my point was, I could have should-I'd myself completely out of going and doing that, but I didn't. And then when I got up this morning, part of me thought, well, should I go? Should I go out? Should I go somewhere to do something, to film a video? And I thought, now this is where the should I works the opposite way around in a way, because I resisted doing that because I knew that, tomorrow is Monday, tomorrow I have to go to work. And if I did that, then by the time I got back, I'd be tired to edit, and I have to both record and edit this podcast for tomorrow. And I would much rather be a little bit ahead because I feel calmer and more relaxed in the week. So in a way, the should I didn't allow me to go out and have fun. But I have had fun because I did things like my cooked breakfast and my having tea in the garden. And I edited 2 shorts, one of which I put out, one of which is scheduled for later in the week, so that my YouTube schedule is in hand and I don't need to worry about it, which is a very calming, positive thing. So in that case, I really didn't mind not going out. Plus, to be honest, I didn't know where I was going to go. And next weekend is a 3-day weekend. It's another national holiday. So it's okay to do that next weekend, because there'll be 3 days in which I can choose one to go out. But the whole concept of should I think in our lives there are so many decisions which could go either way. I mean, you know yourself, if you're in a situation where, starting off very young, you probably had a choice of 2 universities at least, and didn't know whether to go to the one that was in your hometown or go to the one that was in a different town or a different state. And you might have thought after, when you'd chosen one and been at it for a while, I wonder what it would have been like if I'd have chosen the other one. And that's a should I thing, isn't it? Should I have done that? And in some cases, it's better to say, well, let's analyse where I am now. I'm quite happy, or I'm working my way through the courses okay. You could be in a job where you thought that, should I have taken that other job? And sometimes that's just self-doubt, that you're not quite making the grade where you are, and it just means that you need a little bit more time to find out if you're settling, or you'll get to a point where you think, actually, I'll apply for some other jobs and see what's out there. So some should I's work themselves out. But equally, there's the should I's of, should I go on holiday this year? Should I spend a huge amount of money, most of my savings, on a trip of a lifetime? Or should I keep saving towards that mortgage to buy an apartment so that I can enjoy it every day of the week? That's a big should I. That's and all I would say about that is, whichever you choose, throw yourself 100% into it, and don't should I yourself after you've chosen. Once you've chosen, go with it. It's what you've got. So you need to fully focus on it, because then you can tell yourself all the positives of the choice that you've made. Yes, this is going to work. This will work out, and I will have a wonderful time, whether I'm on that vacation or whether I've bought that apartment. And there's always, whatever decision you make, there's always those little bits that don't quite go right, or you have to fix, and you have to work through that to fully enjoy what you've got. So in your life, I hope that you're aware when you have should I moments, and maybe choose the path that feels very right for you, that you're going to benefit from it, and that you're not doing what you're expected to do by your conscience or by other people, but that you're doing things that feel they're going to benefit you, and that when the day is over, you're going to feel that was a good day. Because that's all we want out of life, to have a good day every day. Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and come back next time. Bye for now.